The real meaning of Labor Day. Yes, we're going to do something a little bit different today since it's Labor Day weekend. We're going to talk about Labor Day, what it means, where it came from, what it stands for. A change of pace, if you will. Because I think for most of us, Labor Day just means, some holiday at the end of the summer, marks the end of summer, there's barbecues and sales at the stores and a long weekend. But Labor Day is really one of the last remaining vestiges, historical significance when it comes to the fight for fairness when it comes to labor. I always laugh when people who are extremely anti union love to celebrate Labor Day. Without unions, Labor Day wouldn't exist. Just a little coinky dink. But no, Labor Day was born out of conflict. There was a time in this country in the 1800s where people worked 16-hour days, children worked. It was in the middle of the Industrial Revolution. Factories were booming, everything was booming, and everyone worked tirelessly, relentlessly. 6, 7 days a week in unthinkable conditions. And, from all that, labor unions began to pop up. Workers began to organize, go on strike, asking for shorter work days, better working conditions, better pay. And these weren't like negotiations of today. It was the 1800s. These strikes were often violent. These were fights. These were not strikes. They call them strikes, but I mean, these were physical confrontations. And then in 1894, they had the Pullman strike. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Pullman strike, but it was this big railroad strike. And federal troops went in. That was not a good day. So, in response to that, Congress got their act together somewhat and quickly passed legislation creating Labor Day. Yeah. Both to, appease the workers, ease tensions, try to calm everything down. And the president, Grover Cleveland, signed that into law. And the first Labor Day was in 1894, September the 5th, 1894. So Labor Day's, it's not just a holiday. It should be a reminder of the rights we have now that we totally take for granted. 8-hour work days, weekends, safer workplaces, the end of child labor as we know it or knew it. All things that were fought for. All things people fought and died for. These aren't things they just gave us. People had to fight for it. And, people risk their jobs, their safety, their lives to secure that. It's also a day to reflect on the value of work itself, which seems fitting in this day and age. Work has sort of taken on a new meaning in 2025. You know, historically, we've always worked to earn a living. And what people have viewed as work has historically been like this hard, tough manual labor. That's not the case anymore. Work now is just anything you do to make a buck. I'm working right now in front of you. This is part of my work. I'm not turning wrenches or swinging hammers. I did that for over 30 years. Now I'm doing this. But Labor Day, you know, honors people, that keeps society moving. When I think of Labor Day, I don't think of people like me. I think of teachers, firefighters, nurses, truck drivers, factory workers, service workers. I'm sorry if I left anyone out, but the people that truly keep this country moving today, that's who I'm talking about. That's what those people do. I don't do that. What I do is not important. I did important work for a long time, but I don't anymore. So, you know, today we still have these debates. We have debates over wages. That's 30 years later. We're still fighting over wages, workers' rights. Now we have automation and AI in the mix. And unions have reminded us of the struggles of the past aren't necessarily over. And I'm not a huge proponent of unions. I have no problem with unions. I can take them or leave them. I think they have a lot of good qualities. I also believe unions can be too powerful. That's not a dig on unions at all. That's just my opinion on unions. You know, I don't have a problem with unions. I think unions are fine. But we've definitely seen cases where unions can be too strong. Anything, whether it's a union, a corporation, a government, any group of people that becomes too powerful becomes dangerous, becomes unproductive, becomes counterproductive, no matter what it is, whether it's a union or anything else. So, you know, for this Labor Day, while you're enjoying your burger, maybe enjoying my video here, chilling out with your friends, maybe think about the workers and the things that they sacrificed to give us this little respite, this little 4-day weekend where we get to kind of take a breath. Just take a moment and think about those people. Hope you guys have a great Labor Day weekend. I will see you guys soon. Thanks.